Manchester United 2, Leeds United 2. United come from 2-0 down at Old Trafford to draw against Leeds United. Kenny, how you feeling after that one? Does it feel like 2 points dropped?
I feel as
Does
I
it feel
need a
like
rest.
Yeah, I know.
I need a rest.
We all need a
Wow,
need a
what a
rest.
game!
How are you feeling? Yeah.
It wasn't the result we wanted, but at the end of the day, we came from 2 goals down, and the first half we got exactly what we deserved. We started slowly. They pressed exceptionally well. The formation of 4-3-3 completely flummoxed us. So the front three pressed Varane and Martinez out the game in the first half. We couldn't get the ball through to Savitzer or Fred. When we did, because their second bank of three was right on top of them, we just never created anything. We never progressed forward. The only way we progressed forward was with long balls over the top to Palestri. And the reason Palestri had so much room on that side was because they were so narrow, because they were pressing. Unfortunately, Palestri, I thought it was, well, I thought it was wasteful. And I was surprised because I think if Rashford had been given the same opportunities with that space on that side, I think it might have been a little bit different. But Palestri is great at getting his head down and running, and he was doing that, but there was no end product. So the ball was coming back to us, and no, like I said, we got away with it in the first half.
Garnacho, you mean in the first half? Sorry, being wasteful.
Sorry, Garnacho. Garnacho. I always get mixed up with
him. No, but you're right. You're right with Garnacho. Certainly, and he had 2 opportunities in the first half. Bruno cuts the ball back to him, gets it just wide. The one way he rounds the goalkeeper as well, cleared off the line, and even for the goal in the second half, right? I mean, gave the ball away and it comes back in. Varane with the own goal, and it did feel like that, didn't it? It just felt like Rashford's the guy in form. He's been on the left-hand side. That's where he's been in form.
Why was he where he was? And I counted 8 shots in the first half from outside the box, and that's what we were restricted to. We had no composure in the first half whatsoever. There was nothing with regards to progression. And where we've been playing well in the last 2 weeks, and I mentioned this the other night, I thought, was we was playing great little triangles with Anthony, Wan-Bissaka on this side, on the other side, before Ericsson got injured. And then we had Shaw working with Rashford, and Shaw was overlapping, and Wan-Bissaka was overlapping. But because Garnacho is just head down, Shaw was never in the game from an attacking point of view, because he wasn't looking for him. He was just looking to go forward. So our opportunity to create any chances in the box were poor. But I was really disappointed about the number of times. I think it was Garnacho twice and Rashford shooting from outside the box when there was players there free in the box.
Yeah.
And that was simply because after the first minute they scored, we were chasing the game from the first minute. It felt as though it was 100 mile an hour football, but it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be. At 60 minutes, he makes the changes. As soon as he made the changes, he brings Palestri on the right, he brings Sancho on the left. Dalot then comes in. They start playing little triangles. Next thing, the ball comes over from Dalot. Good cross, Rashford straight in. Why?
Yeah.
Because there was more composure on that right-hand side. It wasn't head down. It was tippy-tappy. Sancho, that 10-minute cameo was brilliant.
Yeah.
He didn't put a foot wrong. His goal was good, but he was all of a sudden, he's coming into the game. They're playing little 1-2s. Bruno's doing 1-2s. So the triangle started. There was no shots from outside the box. Sancho was running in the box. Palestri was running the box. And we just looked a completely different team.
Yeah.
My real concern for Saturday is that if we start with that same midfield, we're going to have the same problems. We are going to have the same. Sabitzer was too far forward. So when Varane gets the ball, because the way they pressed, Varane and Mertens had 3 players running at them. There was no outlet. There was nobody coming to take the ball. Casemiro or Ericsson would come and take that ball off them, and then progress through the lines. We never progressed through the lines. Progressed. But again, I have to take my hat off to Leeds, and if they have the same attitude and same energy, on Saturday, they will give us real problems. They will give us real problems again, simply because we don't have that holding midfield and that control and playing through the lines. It was all spasmodic, rushed. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But it was high energy. It was a great game, to be fair.
Great watch. Yeah, it was a great watch. You know, frustrating at points. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that with the midfield, because that's something I noticed as well. It's the first time really since this big wave of Casemiro playing all these games for United that it just felt like whenever they came to the midfield, it just went straight through them. I haven't seen the defense look that vulnerable for a while, and you can tell that early on.
Martinez could have easily given 1 or 2 penalties away simply because he was having to make that many last-ditch tackles. Because there was nothing in front of him to shield. There was no shield in front of the back 3, 4, or whoever was there. And if they play with that same attitude at weekend Leeds, then they're going to give us more problems, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt. So whether and I know that he's tried Lindelof at CDM, Fred was wasteful. Fred was all Fred. Fred was all Fred today. It was getting the ball, and it was even the short passes were going astray. And he's not been playing like that, but it was because the game was that rushed, and that was Leeds. That was the Leeds press. What did it? Leeds press. They showed us absolutely no respect from the first kick-off to the last. None whatsoever. There was no fear in that Leeds team. None at all.
You mentioned before we even started as well, saying that the team clearly weren't pragmatic enough by how Leeds set up. And it's really interesting that you say that, because in the press conference, Ten Hag actually singled that out. He said that we've got to make sure we're not naive. We've got to make sure we're proactive, because earlier on this season, when we played Villa away and they had a new manager, we didn't really know how they were going to set up. They set up the way they did, and we didn't react. And he said that we've got to make sure we do that. And to your point, earlier on in the game, we didn't. They didn't know what to do again.
No, they showed us no respect. They showed that some teams will come to Old Trafford and they'll try to outthink us or whatever, and they'll try to compensate for Rashford. They didn't. They just came 2 banks of 3, back 4, 3-3-3, press, high energy, irrespective of who gets the ball, just hit them. And that's what they did. Nobody had a chance to settle on the ball in midfield or anywhere on the pitch and like I said, their second goal, young Garnacho gets it outside the box. 3 people just run straight at him and he lost the ball. 3 people just run straight at him and he lost the ball. Next thing they score. You're not blaming the lad for that. That's just that's fair play to Leeds. That's just fair play to Leeds.
And to our point, you know, if you're going to be proactive, you're going to know they're going to press you. When you get the ball at your feet, if you're going to take a touch, it has to go quickly. Exactly. It has to go quickly. And they didn't really do that. But looking forward then, I guess, to the weekend before we wrap things up. To your point, got to start quicker, got to be a bit more intense. That atmosphere at Ellen Road's going to be really, really, they're even more up for it now. That's the difficult thing United have, I think. You know,
I've got a few friends that watch Leeds, and they say they're better away from home simply because there is that much pressure on them at home from the Leeds fans. Some of them are folding a bit, and you know they're struggling at home more than what they're away because of that pressure. So they may not come at us like they came. They may be a little bit more careful.
So the expectation might be higher now.
Hopefully they will. Sorry, I'll let you finish. Go on.
No, I was going to say, so if a quick one then, coming straight off this one, maybe a little bit reactionary, but quick prediction for the weekend?
2-1 to us.
2-1 to us.
I said in the family the other night, when we was going round and they was asking about how many points are we going to get for the next 3 games, they all said 9 points, and I said 7. 2 wins and a draw. And we've got our draw when they'll get 2 wins.
Yeah, hopefully so. And look, we've got to start quick. Can't have any of that slow stuff like we had tonight, guys, honestly. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. A draw at Old Trafford. Here's hoping for the win at the weekend. We're out of here. Peace.